Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexandra Clement, and I am a rainforest conservationist and the founder of Endangered Rainforest Rescue and Fundación Rescate Selva Tropical in Panama. Today, I am going to tell you about a place that is known as the most dangerous jungle in the world. But in reality, it is actually one of the most important rainforest habitats on Earth to protect. This place is the Darién Gap, the rainforest where we are now working to restore a protected wildlife corridor to reconnect the Americas. When my work began in tropical botany almost 15 years ago, I was searching for lost and endangered tree species for their preservation, knowing that the loss of just even one tree species causes a devastating ripple effect in an ecosystem. When I was in Panama, I remember looking at a map of the country and seeing this massive block of green. I found out that this was the notorious Darién Gap, the rainforest where the Pan American Highway ends and there are no roads into South America. In all of my research about this place, I would see articles talking about the dangers from narco-trafficking to kidnapping, and all my Panamanian friends told me that I should never go. But I was shocked that no one was speaking about the ecological significance of a rainforest that connects two continents. And I knew that the species of endangered trees that I was looking for could probably still be found here. So for the last 10 years of my life, I have been going on expeditions deep into the Darién Gap, searching for these endangered tree species, finding the mother trees, and collecting their seeds. We then take these seedlings to grow in one of the several nurseries that we've set up in different indigenous communities in the area, where they'll eventually be used to restore land that has been completely degraded. But after years of planting tens and thousands of these species, I knew that we needed to have more impact. The Darién was at the threat of deforestation, mostly due to the ever-expanding agricultural frontier and monocrop culture plantations like teak. It seemed that every piece of privately owned land was being cleared. So once again, I looked at a map. As you can see, there's a band of forest that runs across the top of the country, connecting into North America and through the Darién into South America. And I noticed that there was a huge patch of deforestation cut out into this larger ecological corridor. I had a teammate who told me that he had a cattle ranch in this area, and jaguars were attacking his cattle, desperately trying to get to the other side. So for the last 2 years, our project has shifted, and we are now restoring a wildlife corridor in one of the largest patches of deforestation cut out into the larger Mesoamerican biological corridor, using the Chuquenaque River, which is Panama's longest, as a guideline, which flows right directly through that patch of deforestation. This would historically connect back to protected indigenous lands and reopen migratory pathways for species through the lowland rainforest, through the continents once again. We are doing this by purchasing land, urgently purchasing the remaining primary forest patches that still exist within our corridor, and purchasing the degraded land so that we can put back a native forest, which is our specialty. I'm proud to say that within the last year and a half, we have already purchased 2 pieces of primary forest plots in the center of our corridor, which total to about 4 miles of river in a 26-mile stretch. This here is a very small sampling of all of the jaguars that are roaming through our protected primary forest plots in the center of that corridor. And yes, that is 2 jaguars mating in the bottom right corner. So I think from these maps alone, you can see clearly how critical this corridor is to protect at this continental scale. But one theme that I've found from working in the Darién for so long is the lack of scientific data in the area. Most of the time, our research team is using field guides from northern Colombia and Costa Rica to identify species. So we decided that we would perform baseline biodiversity studies in our project area to better understand the impact of deforestation in the center of our corridor, while also studying pristine primary forest, intact forest on the indigenous sides that we're connecting back to. These studies are pivotal because what we're trying to do is bring back all of the species that exist in those two forests back to flow through our corridor. We have a team that specializes in birds, bats, and herpafauna, and botany, which is the team that I lead, and we actually just got back from a 2-month study for phase 1. For birds, we found a plethora of migrating species, and also species of bird that are endemic to this region. Researchers who have worked all over the neotropics saw families of bats and frogs that they have never seen in their entire career. And one of the most surprising findings was the amount of abundance of small vertebrae on our protected primary forest parcels in the center of our corridor. Also, the highest abundance of diversity that these researchers have seen. And for our botany team, which is the team that I led, we had grueling days of work where we were performing gentry transects to get a rapid assessment of diversity of trees and abundance. And identifying tree species in a forest like the Darién is very difficult. We managed to survey over 900 tree species. And I would say the most spectacular finding from our botany team was the confirmation that the largest tree that I have seen in my career working in the Darién was in our protected primary forest parcels in the center of our corridor, highlighting the urgency of protecting these remaining primary forest patches before it's too late. So I'd like to leave you with this. The Darién is not just a dangerous, unexplored rainforest. It is a lifeline for biodiversity, for climate, and for the future of the Americas. And right now, we actually have an opportunity to protect it. In a world where the problems seem too big to solve, this is one that we actually can. Thank you.